Hi, this is howtofilefordivorce.org, and we're going to show you how to file for divorce in the state of South Dakota. So if you want to come to this web page, we're going to get right started. So step 1, 2 ways to download the required South Dakota divorce papers. Now you can either A, download the free ones that we have here, and if you click on this link, it'll come to this page where you can get all these forms just by clicking on this link. The second way you can get these divorce papers is you can actually have them filled in for you by clicking on this link, and you'll be brought to our partners webpage where they'll just ask you a few questions and fill in all the forms for you. But it is a $299 professional service, so if you can do them yourself, it's advised that you do it. Now, the spouse that has decided to file for divorce must complete the following forms, and be sure to have them filed with the clerk's office in the county where you reside. So wherever you live in South Dakota, you have a court clerk's office, and you're going to need to file these forms and pay the $95 filing fee with the clerk. So moving on to step 3, you must serve your spouse. The court requires you to let your spouse know that you're filing for divorce. So you're going to have to serve your spouse of all the documents that you just filed with the clerk by sending them, which we're going to talk about below and how to serve. But you're going to have to also include the following forms, because your spouse is going to be filling out these forms right here. But there are 2 ways to serve your spouse. Option A, follow the instructions for notice and admission of summons and complaint. Or option B, follow the instructions for Affidavit of Personal Service, which will be served by the sheriff, constable, or other process server. So it'll be included in that divorce package instructions on exactly how to serve your spouse. So you just look in these 2 forms and we'll have a pretty good explanation of how to do it. So after either method of serving, you'll need to file the proof of service with the clerk. And going down to step 5, your spouse must file the answer, which is up here in these forms that you gave your spouse, within 30 days of being served. If your spouse does not file the answer within 30 days, you will need to fill out the Affidavit of Default form and Notice of Intent to take default judgment. After filing, you will need to serve your spouse by following the instructions for Notice of Entry of Decree of Divorce. So basically what this is saying is you want to make sure that your spouse files this answer within 30 days of being served. Now, step 6, you'll have to meet and get together with your spouse in order to follow the instructions for Stipulation and Settlement Agreement and fill out the Affidavit of Grounds of Divorce and go to step 7A. If you cannot come to terms with your spouse, you'll want to go to step 7B. So 7A, going back up here, if you can meet on all these, then file the Stipulation Settlement Agreement, which, by the way, this form right here is basically another word for the Marital Settlement Agreement. This is where you're going to be discussing basically who gets what assets, if there's property, money in the bank, if there's credit card debt. This is where all the financial mayhem, if it gets bad, goes on. So it's really important that even before you start the process that maybe you get your hands on this and you can come to terms before you pay the filing fee and go through this whole process. But anyways, hopefully if you can agree on this, you'll need to file the form with the clerk's office. And if you're in agreement on everything, chances are likely you'll just not have a court hearing. The judge will authorize your decree of divorce and you'll receive it in the mail. It's that easy if you agree. But if you can't agree, you'll have to go down to 7B, file the original Notice of Intent to take judgment, affidavit, and the rest of the forms. And you'll have to meet with the clerk, and you'll get a court hearing, and you'll have to go to that court, and then that's when the judge will sign your divorce decree. And at that time, your divorce is final in the state of South Dakota. Now, if you're looking to change your name, we have a whole guide on how to change your name just by clicking on this link here with all the free forms and instructions. So that's it. That is how you file for divorce in the state of South Dakota.